making sure their best of threes were going the full distance of 3, even when they lost. They were a very scrappy team. So we've got the Jarvan, the Varus, the Nocturne banned out by Sentinels, Caitlyn and Anivia banned out by FlyQuest. The Bard would be the expectation here. Since Sentinels have the first pick, it seems like it would be a pretty easy one for them to lock if FlyQuest don't respect it.
Well, the interesting thing, though,
with
this Blitz ban would be AShe. So one thing that I've noticed in the last couple weeks is the bot lane pairs have been more disrupted than ever.
Okay.
Orianna is also completely unbanned. So that's a huge pick for Quad as well as DARKWINGS. They lock in the Orianna. Maybe they match it now with just AShe Seraphine, because the Blitz would be something huhi would pick to blow that up. Put one of them in, alt away their shields and try and one-shot them. Giving away Orianna is kind of crazy, but it would allow them to pick their bot lane pair right now if they want to.
I think it might just be doing Lucian Milio, because I know some people have been playing Blitz as a Milio counter recently. So like maybe that's why they would think about it. But yeah, I mean, Blitz is picked pretty rarely, but like you're saying, it's picked as a counter to enchanters, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Seraphine, Milio, Lulu. I am pretty surprised to see that banned out, though, and I'm also surprised if Bard is not going to get grabbed up here while it is up and available. And so it is going to be Lucian Milio, as I was saying.
Yeah.
So that's probably the angle that they're going for. And now the question is, does huhi go towards his Bard? Generally, they have done Caitlyn Bard as a pairing.
Yeah.
So maybe FlyQuest is saying, you won't actually pick Bard without the Caitlyn or without, you know, an Ezreal, which is another good pairing but was already played. So I'm going to be interested to see where huhi goes.
A lot of mind games here. Cassio is one of Quad's best champions, also one of DARKWINGS' best champions. And the lane is good into Orianna, even if Orianna has some scaling advantages. And it's actually just going to be the AShe Seraphine into the Lucian Milio, so a bit of a handshake on the bot lane pairs.
Yeah, it is interesting because I feel like this is kind of considered the new age Seraphine AShe counter is Lucian Milio. A lot of the pros that I've been talking to really do feel like it's quite advantaged, and that is one of the things when you ask, you know, why AShe and Seraphine are going down in prio is why is because Lucian Milio has kind of risen in priority. So I am pretty surprised that Sentinels are down to handshake it, but maybe they feel like, hey, it's not actually a big deal. We can scale well. Hawkshot is always going to be incredibly valuable. Seraphine is monstrously strong in the late game. But that being said, if you're positioned well on Milio, Breath of Life answers AShe Arrow. It answers the Encore. It is so powerful. And that is why people really like these matchups. And the short trades, even early on from Lucian Milio, are very reminiscent of Nami Lucian. It's really powerful.
All of the biggest Seraphine plays are Seraphine firing an Encore through 3 or 4 players on the enemy team, usually using one of her own teammates to set that up. But like you say, if Milio is in range of everybody, okay, cool, you pressed R, I press R, let's just reset, and now you don't have your big butt.
Really interesting. FlyQuest, I did feel like Sentinels kind of had the edge in the Game 1 draft. FlyQuest then outplayed and found some clutch angles towards the end once Massu had his items on Ezreal, and now just massive, honestly, kind of massive scaling for both sides, but it looks like laning phase-wise, FlyQuest could have a slight advantage in mid and bot lane so far.
Shyvana ban. There's one you don't see super often, but this is a pick that we've seen come up a couple of times since the rework. I feel like Gryffinn would absolutely be the type of player to not be afraid to slam that one in here, so Sentinel's going to go ahead and respect that, while FlyQuest also target the jungle, but much more standard stuff here, the Vi being their 4th ban, as we wait to see if it's going to be only jungle targeting coming out from both teams. There's not really any flexibility in what we've seen here in the draft in the first 3 from either side. We know it's bot lane duos. We know that it's mid laners. Xin Zhao going to be the last ban here for Fly.
The one wrinkle I will say is that a lot of top laners are playing Cassio top these days.
Okay.
So I don't know that we're going to actually see it. In competitive, it's basically been exclusively mid lane, but that is the one kind of wrinkle that there is always a possibility. Given that it's quad, I don't really believe it. But Gakgos, if there was a guy to do it, I would believe that he would be bringing it out. So I'm just kind of opening the door for it because it's always fun when people go
We'll
for
leave the door cracked open. It's fine. We don't got to lock
just
anything
just yet.
Draft. Yeah, that's okay. So it's a lovely day out here in Santa Monica, as we do have Ambessa banned out. Final pick of the draft here for Sentinels.
Just 4 jungle bans.
Yeah, no problem.
5 if you include the jar. I mean 6 actually if you include the first phase. So we're going deep into these jungle pools. Usually you'd think that would favor Gryffinn. Got some quirky stuff.
He's got 2 different dogs he can play.
True.
All right, Jayce locked in.
Yeah, I mean there's still like Mundo, there's still Pantheon's up and available, Wukong's up and available, obviously pocket picks like the Shen, things like Trundle, Sejuani. There's tons and tons of picks. I do think that HamBak, this fits him well. The Naafiri for HamBak, I feel like he is that aggressive style player. He wants to scrap, he wants to find angles. And Impact on another tank here is going to be playing the Sion. This is a matchup that a lot of people do enjoy into Jayce. As long as you don't get blasted early, it becomes very hard for Jayce to really push the tempo. And ever since those Arcane Comet changes a patch or two ago, Sion, some players are going back toward that, where you can kind of actually do a couple points in E, and you can kind of just do E poke plus Comet and actually try to win the lane.
Jungle Shen's actually not bad here. I was thinking before he hovered it, especially with Naafiri diving in. Gryffinn loves to have that counter to the other jungler's playstyle when he decides to play Shen. Not quite as clear as the if Vi presses R, Shen presses R, but I feel like he can still make it work. And I like how you left the door cracked open, because I could see a last-second swap with the Cassio Jayce, but based off of what Gakgos likes to play in Jayce and Quad liking to play Cassio, I think they'll keep it the same.
Yeah, the pilot's determinant in this one, but I can see the flexibility being a possibility here. I also do really like the stand united in Naafiri, like all assassins, but especially since I am vindicated, Isaac. This is for 10 years ago when Ezreal ruined every jungle item in the game and junglers had to get nerfed over and over because of Ezreal. Well, now Ezreal's friends' items, guess who those belong to? The junglers. What goes around, comes around.
Ezreal's friends are the enchanters, buddy.
Well, that doesn't matter. Ezreal's friends now are these guys, because these are the OP guys.
Okay.
Massu's, I feel like Massu's still the beneficiary of this.
Well, as we're discussing who benefits from what item, we've got Emily standing by for an interview with Coach Golden Glue.
We already had a sharp oh no from you. I guess as we look through the level 1, see if anything develops, talk to me a little bit about this draft and how you kind of want it to play out early.
I think this game, we kind of have a really just standard team fight comp. We've got a tank top, we've got AShe, Seraphine, Orianna, and Engage. So I think both games, I feel like they're trying to run a little bit like higher execution comps, where they had like the S Karma, and we're kind of just playing more of the Engage, I would say. So it should be interesting to see how this one goes out. I think this game should be a bit more like, oh, we're fighting. We're fighting. Uh-oh, this doesn't look too great for us. That's not great. That's not great.
He did live, though.
Yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the worst.
Really quick, I guess, because last game was so close, and you kind of broke it down already, where, like, I feel like Sentinels overall does go for these more, like, straight-up team fighting compositions. What did you say to the guys going into game 2?
I mean, I think that last game we just kind of looked over the team fights, because I think that's what it kind of came down to. I think we were in a really good position, especially after the early gank bot lane, and that we kind of just needed to focus the same target together. I think that one dragon fight, like, we had to protect our Jhin, and Jhin needed to, like, flash out. So it was, like, pretty simple errors I felt like we made last game. And I think this game, the team fight should be, like, a little bit more straightforward for us.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Grayson, and we'll toss it back to Cass.
I like how he said the words, it's not the worst, but you didn't believe him as he said it.
Yeah.
It was the tone.
It could have been worse. It's still really bad, as Rahel has 3 CS, 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the game, still under his turret.
Well, at least he's got a decent-sized wave here to try to farm up a little bit of who he's going to step forward and posture as aggressively as you can on a singing anime girl champion. Because he has his jungler nearby, if their opponents do try to overcommit, maybe HamBak could show up for a punish, since he did like to make that early appearance in bottom lane in game 1. But it doesn't look like it. Massu and Cryogen just making sure they keep the pedal to the metal here with the Lucian Milio.
Yeah, I did like what he said, though, about having simple, easier to execute comps and how FlyQuest tries to play the higher execution stuff. And a lot of that pressure of execution then goes on to FlyQuest. Last game, they were able to execute. And this game, we might end up seeing a little bit of a scuffle at the grab.
All right, Gryffinn versus HamBak as, was that Gryffinn sliding that away? Nicely done.
Yeah, that is really nice. Oh, Rahel in trouble.
Yeah, Rahel has to try to flash, but it won't matter. That's first blood. Massu and Cryogen in the 2v2, and Gryffinn says, why not make it a combo plate? Massu just takes a turret shot. Huhi does get away for now, but man, bot lane is a disaster early for Sentinels.
Yeah, Huhi would have been dead too, except Gryffinn had no Shadow Dash, so he had no taunt. He had already used that on his way down towards bot lane. So if the last one wasn't the worst, this one is. They picked this into the Lucian Milio, and Massu and Cryogen slamming them in the 2v2. This wraparound there was just so smart. I really love that. As the wave is pushing out here, you know, Rahel and Huhi are close to their tower, but Massu and Cryogen just show up behind them, and Rahel, even with the flash, dies here. That is tough.
Yeah, no barrier from the earlier trade, so they could play extra aggressive on him, and now just kind of keep the pressure up. in all their lanes. The Cassio isn't up in CS, but this is what you can do to the Orianna early. You land 1 Q, you just start all-inning that Orianna because you have more sustained damage.
And I think one of the fun things about this series is that we have the oldest team in Tier 1 versus the youngest team in Tier 1.
Yeah.
Out of all of the teams in the world in Tier 1, this is the youngest team, FlyQuest, versus the oldest team on Sentinels. And Rahel taking some rough trades. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the young guns are coming out swinging. Rahel just wastes the barrier yet again, and Massu and Cryogen are going to turn this into a seriously frustrating experience seriously quickly.
Another 2v2 kill for Massu and Cryogen. They had so many of them in lock-in. I feel like it calmed down a little bit throughout Spring Split, but they're back at it for this game.
I gotta say, though, Rahel turned back into that. I think he was actually kind of out of the fight, and then he popped his barrier and just started the fight. Maybe he thought he wasn't going to be able to get away anyway, but does end up just kind of continuing to scrap, and mid lane is getting beaten as well. This is looking tough for Sentinels, but they do have really good scaling, they do have really good team fight, and they do have a simple composition. So as long as they can kind of staunch the bleeding, we'll see.
Well, FlyQuest bottom lane is off to a great start of this second game, and we have a clip of Gryffinn hyping up Cryogen with a motivational speech right before the game. Take a look.
I'm so anxious, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on. Bro, makes sense you're anxious, bro. I know why you're anxious. It's playoffs. You've never been here before. But don't worry. The big G's, Massu and Quad, bro, we have been here before. We played against the greatest in the world. So when you're nervous, just look to your right and see the big G's on your team, and you don't have to feel nervous. It's like you look to your right and you see fakers on your team.
Bro, just trust yourself. Bro, just trust yourself.
So when you see, and you look to your right, you see Massu, Quad, Gryffinn, Gakgos, bro, just know it's a free win, bro.
I love how he's like, bro, you're nervous, but I'm on your team. And Quad's like, just trust yourself. Ignore this guy.
Calm down. It's fine. Also, the big G's, apparently, him and Gakgos.
I just love
Look over and see the big G's.
the completely opposite approach. Quad is like, trust yourself. Griffin's like, don't trust yourself. Trust me.
You might not have any faith in you being here, but look at the rest of them. I do love the confidence from Gryffinn, though, quickly becoming one of the biggest personalities here in the LCS.
Man.
Has definitely found himself a lot of fans since he's joined the league.
Rightfully so. I mean, he's playing all kinds of cool picks. He's bringing out the Nax, he's bringing out the Shen, he's bringing out all kinds of different stuff, and he is hilarious. So definitely fun to see Gryffinn coming into the LCS and has been doing great. And now Shen is level 6, so any play that Sentinels want to go for, they have got to be careful.
Oh, looking to get aggressive. And Gryffinn, to me, he just has unlimited energy. He's so outgoing, and it's also funny with what an aggressive player he is. He's the one that's playing all the support item junglers.
Yeah.
Right? He's just playing these supportive builds, but then still keeping the aggressive mindset.
You gotta love it, as once again, that aggressive mindset showcases itself. Massu down here just guaranteeing that Sentinels, with this bottom lane duo that for so long was just considered such a power duo in lane, they can't really answer a whole lot. Rahel's at about half of Massu's farm, as HamBak shows up here in the mid lane. Quad getting protected by the Stand United. Beautiful Petrify engaged with a miasma right on top of it. HamBak bites off more than he can do, tries to flash away, but it's Gryffinn with the shadow dash flash, ready to follow, and cuts him down. 3-0 game, FlyQuest.
And that is exactly what you want to do on Jungle Shen. Other jungler presses R, I press R. And because they had the Cassio ult into Miasma, it buys them enough time to be able to chase down the counter kill.
And I mean, this is just perfect. Gryffinn is just power farming here, and they hit him with the shockwave as soon as you see that ult coming in. And also, he used the W early, so he has no W to actually immune any skills. He used it for the additional damage here.
Yeah.
And then HamBak just gets chased down, Shadow Dash Flash, hits him with the auto to finish him off.
Nice, Gryffinn. Nice. Good job.
I mean, that is the Guardian proc, that is the Stand United shield, that is a lot of extra damage that you have to deal to kill off this Cassio early on in the game, and it's just not going to happen. That was a pretty low HP ult, so that's 300 about from the ultimate plus the Guardian.
Raz says he is once again flip-flopping. In other news, the sky is blue and the grass is green. He's hard to keep this guy on one track the whole time.
Yeah, last week he did it too.
Impact, point-blank range ulti here to just clear out the wave as much as anything.
Yeah, trying to catch Gakgos at the edge of turret range while he was poking, couldn't quite get it. Still, Impact's doing very well in that lane. Jayce versus Sion early.
anytime you're even, or in this case, slightly ahead of the Jayce, it's a great time topside.
Yeah, I mean, Impact did his job last game as well. It just didn't matter.
Ooh, Rahel forced to flash from the culling again. Every time we pan down here to the bottom lane, it is just an exercise in frustration for the Sentinels duo.
Could have been worse. Could have died again. Could have used barrier as well.
You're really a silver lining guy here.
It's still pretty bad. It's still a total disaster what's happening.
This is not a silver lining. This is a bronze lining.
Oh, boy.
Maybe even iron.
I was going to say, any more of these 2v2 kills, it's going to be an iron lining, brother. Times are tough down here in the bottom lane. At least, I guess, if you are looking for some good news down there for the Sentinels 2v2, they have stabilized at around that -30 CS point. It hasn't continued getting worse.
Yeah, perfect. Just where I want to be in this matchup.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be -40.
I saw the matchup. I picked it in, and I'm only down 30 CS in 9 minutes.
It's just
time to run away top lane.
I think if you're looking for good news in the bot lane, you look to a different lane.
Well, unfortunately, when you run away top lane, they also follow you top lane. So the running away
That's
amounts
just mean.
to a little bit of extra cardio as Massu and Cryogen just continue what they've been doing. Essence Reaver fully completed for Massu. Nice big power spike here for the Lucian. You can see Rahel still with only the components in his inventory.
And also, when you're a jungle Shen, you really love it if your lanes are winning, which is what's happening. So that last Shen ultimate was used. His Shen ultimate's back up again. So if anyone gets aggressive on either Massu or Quad, Gryffinn's just going to press hard to try and be there, turn the tides, and let them keep their advantage. I
mean, it is so nice, not only just having winning lanes, but being able to have someone who is a clear hyper carry at this point here on Massu is really, really going to make it easy for Gryffinn because it's just about protecting him.
Yeah, absolutely is. Quad scaling up with his mana items as well. This opening to game 2 is an extension of the late game of game 1 where they were turning it around. FlyQuest has just really been playing clean since that moment, and Sentinels seems like they haven't really been able to recover as Gryffinn arrives.
Yeah, Griffin's made his way down into the bottom lane here, finds the Shadow Dash through the Encore to lock up Rahel. Remember, there's no flash on the Ashe because of the earlier calling. It's a 4-0 game.
And the timing there is perfect as well. Dragon is up right now. They kill Rahel. 3 deaths now on the Ashe, and likely a free Drake.
Yeah, that is looking tough. No flash on the Ashe, and she doesn't have a dash.
Yup. Her Ashe is crash. So there's nothing left of that AD carry in the bottom lane. 0-3 and 0, 1,500 gold deficit. Let's check out what's going on in the top side.
This is what they got to do.
Are trying to make the play here onto Gakgos. Gryffin still trying to finish up the Dragon, but does he want to use the Stand United to try to rescue his top laner? Gakgos going for the flash, looking for the outplay here. Flash over the wall from Impact, so he doesn't trade 1 for 1.
Stand United was used there. I think if Gryffin was going to ult, he had to just accept that he wasn't going to kill the Dragon and had to ult early. I could tell he was hesitating because he was trying to finish the Dragon, then ult. But by the time you ult in a situation like that, he's always going to die through the shield. You have to ult super early and just try to be there to actually defend with a taunt. But remember, you can come watch C9 and Lion, who are already qualified for the spring finals at ASU's Mullet Arena on June 13th and 14th. 2-day and 1-day passes are on sale. Get that QR code, and maybe we'll see one of these teams there as well.
Yep, there is still one more team fighting for a spot in that weekend. C9 and Lion as 2 of the squads that got to come in the top 4 for the upper bracket and then won their openers. They've already earned 2 out of 3 of those spots, but the third still up for grabs amongst everyone else. Impact here, tanky on the Sion with the Unending Despair fully completed. Huhi and Rahel going to rotate back down to the bottom lane. Wherever Massu and Cryogen are not, that's where Huhi and Rahel want to be.
And they have to. They have to just attack the Jayce. It's kind of the only person they're able to send players at. He has no flash, but he's just going to be able to walk that one off.
Yeah, they're going for the new age adage. If at first you succeed, try again.
Do it again. do it one more time.
Don't go to the other side, because that one ain't working.
Impact there just going to rotate back over towards the mid lane now. As we do have Quad versus DARKWINGS up here in the top side, we do have the slight kill advantage, or gold advantage, excuse me, because of the 1 kill for DARKWINGS. Even though the farm dead even between these two. Blackfire torch, the first item for DARKWINGS, so a more aggressive option compared to what you would sometimes see with a Roa and Seraph's type of combo, which is what Quad is building towards on his Cassio.
Yeah, and Quad just about has Roa guild. He's probably going to base after this wave and be able to have that Roa.
Look at the gold there. Rahel, 3.9K to 6,000. It's just such a massive block gap so far in this game.
I will say, though, seeing Gakgos down there as well, who's going to be more useless, the poor Jayce or the poor Ashe? AShe at least has some utility.
Okay, we got a couple of different fights breaking out as Gakgos going to be your target down here in the bottom lane. Impact being targeted over in mid. Gakgos dies first, but Impact will join him. Top laner for top laner. The punching bags on each team take a beating.
Yeah, the thing is, if Impact's poor, that's okay. If Gakgos is poor, that's a lot less okay. So Sentinels are finding a way to try to make this game competitive. Clearly, the game is completely out of control. Massu's up 2K early. You're kind of expecting to lose it, but the only thing you can do is play the other side of the map, which they are doing effectively. And Gakgos has not been giving up some of these waves. He's trying to actually defend at the tower, and he's getting dove a couple times in a row now.
And it's actually unironically been one of Sentinel's strengths is in games that feel hopeless, they'll continue to try and make plays. They'll make the game a little bit funny. And that's 2 successful plays on a Gakgos that at least keep them in it.
Nicely done from Sentinels. Again, keeping that gold lead within striking distance, but we do have the Rift Herald spawning here in about 10 seconds. FlyQuest does have shove over both the nearby lanes. Massu and Cryogen crashing mid lane wave into the tier 1 turret of Sentinels. Quad doing the same thing up there in the top side. As Massu and Cryogen confident in how far ahead of the rest of the game they are, moving into enemy brushes here, setting up around the vision. Huhi walks in towards the brush, immediately pops his defensive heal to get back away.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you're touching on it, but Sentinels has been good at actually coming back in some of these games. Huhi, we even got comms from him talking about, you know, is this famous Anivia game. He's like, you know what? We just need one fight. That's what it's going to come down to. And these are some of these games where they were down massively here and able to find an engage, find a play, find a way to come back here and pull these games back to parity. So we'll see if they can do it here in a game that will be so important. You go down 2 games in a best of 5 early against FlyQuest, you're in a position where it's reverse sweep or you're done.
And again, silver lining, AShe always has arrow, even if you're far behind. Because the way they come back in this game, I feel like, is to land some CC onto Massu, and they have the Naafiri Orianna combo. That can still be a clean one-shot if they time it properly at any stage in the game. So Huhi and Rahel just kind of stop the bleeding as much as they can and let the rest of their comp do the work.
I think it's going to be, you know, all about layering the CC, though, importantly here, because there is the Milio with Breath of Life, right? So, you know, just an AShe arrow is not going to be enough. It's going to have to be like AShe arrow, he gets cleansed out of that into an immediate shockwave, into the Fury. Like, it's got to be everything, and it has to be overwhelming damage, because Shen is ulting you with Guardian, and as he arrives, he's popping Locket, and you're getting double shielded by a Cryogen, and you're getting, you know, your barrier, your heal. There's a lot of tools, and they're all going to be used to keep Massu safe.
Okay, Gryffinn and Quad ready to respond to what HamBak's trying to do here in the jungle, forces him back away, and make sure that Sentinels can't make a move up here in the top lane.
And you know what? Griffin's probably building next Azael. It's probably a Knight's Vow.
Yep.
So it's probably the 14% damage reduction as well. So they're really setting up Massu to be the hyper carry. He's about to collect even more gold by finishing off this mid-turret.
Yeah, you can see the Naafiri Flicker Blades completed there for Massu, so has that second item ready to go here on the Lucian. DPS potential going to be crazy. And what you're talking about, Azael, with the Breath of Life being able to answer these CC attempts from Sentinels, I also feel like if Cryogen just wants to double down on it and buy the Mikhails, it's like, okay, Breath of Life is now never used for the arrow for any reason. You just use Mikhails on arrow, then Breath of Life is always ready for Encore or Sion or whatever.
Yep, yeah, no, absolutely agree. I expect he will get a Mikhails at some point in the game, and they are just going to continue attacking side lanes. Lucian's at the Dragon, not going there. Time to look elsewhere and see if you can find a play here onto Quad. They will get a tower.
Pretty aggressive by Quad trying to defend this 1v3.
Yeah, he does step up. The turret is eventually going to fall. Petrifying Gaze. Quad's forced to flash back away, really. And this is what we talk about with FlyQuest wanting to limit test. Quad was testing, can I keep the turret alive?
Yeah.
Test response, no.
Fail and lose everything, actually. They use all summoners and his ultimate, so now he's so much more vulnerable on side lane when he could have just sat back, let them kill the turret, catch the wave, and been so much more invulnerable from ganks.
Yeah, I don't love that from Quad. I really wonder what the comms were in that moment. Maybe he wanted to try to force with a Shen ult, and he's saying, like, I'll ghost on them, I'll flash in, you Shen ult me, but maybe Gryffinn wanted to actually just finish the Dragon instead. Because that one felt pretty weird to me, to actually just see him just, like, pop ghost and full send it. You know, so maybe it was kind of just, like, a difference in opinion of how to play that.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Turret destroyed down there in the bottom lane. Gakgos collecting on that one. Even though he has been bullied so far by Sentinels, both of their kills are onto the Jayce. Still only 100 gold behind Impact on the Sion. Still hasn't really been halted in his farming efforts. Cryogen and Quad going towards the top side here, but DARKWINGS is well aware enough, thanks to the war, that he can step back in time.
And he's also got the support Jayce item. Black Cleaver. Here, they have less armor now, Massu.
There you are, Lucian.
Yeah.
I'm ready to help.
I've done my part.
What's the Cassio item that can help Lucian? We need everyone to pitch in into the Massu carry.
Time to get a redemption, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Redemption Cassio. That's how you know we're in dark times. Quad goes for the Petrifying Gaze. Doesn't really get a whole lot out of it. Defensive Shockwave, but the Cozy Campfire keeping Quad plenty of HP. Gryffinn versus HamBak off on the side. Darkwings still down below half. Herald summoned up right in range of the turret. No way to stop the charge on that one. Gets the slam, but the turret's still standing for now. Fire.
Sentinels holding that turret for now. Quad, no flash or ghost, so couldn't go as aggressive as I'm sure he'd like.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, back to the battle. As they do bring in the Shen. Stand United going to be used there to interrupt Impact's escape. So they get the flash out of the Sion in exchange for the Stand United cooldown.
That's pretty nice. Going to be able to get that flash off him, which won't be up for a soul fight, but the Shen ult will be up for the soul fight. So that is kind of the important timing there. Is just about 3 minutes until that soul. And they are willing to spend the Shen ult because that is going to be the next place they are looking to fight. So I do like that. And Quad, you know, though he spent his summoners aggressively on top side, that was right around when that dragon did go down. So it's going to be up kind of around the timing that they would be fighting there anyway.
I'd say Sentinels still doing a lot of work on these side lanes, getting Darkwings a little bit ahead. Impact had a cheeky steal on the Sion there, so Sentinels really gonna have to make their last stand at this Ocean Soul, most likely.
Darkwings has the opportunity to make a big play. Protobelt plus Blackfire Torch means you can do a lot if that Shockwave hits multiple targets. But of course, the main story of any big team fight is going to be Massu. Can Sentinels properly target this very fed AD carry and bring him down? Can Massu make sure that he's constantly staying within Lucian's effective, shorter compared to other AD carries range, and maximizing his DPS to turn this lead into a win?
And I think, you know, timing-wise, it's going to be pretty good. You know, Massu is on the pickaxe right now. He has 1,300 gold. I don't think he's going to be able to complete another item before this next fight here. And, you know, we'll see, because there is 2 items on Darkwings. There is 2 items on HamBak. They are reasonably strong right now. So if they can find that perfect engage onto Massu, it definitely could work out. But it is tough, and there's so many defensive tools here over on FlyQuest to really keep this guy safe, because you have got to dive him through Miasma, through Petrifying Gaze, through Locket, through Heal, through Shields, through everything.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Griffin's going to be able to finish his Knight's Vow quite before the Drake, only sitting on 100 gold. Just has the 2 components. Would love to be able to get that, but can't quite yet. And I like where Sentinels is on the map still. They're constantly looking to make plays.
Yeah, you could see the intention right there. HamBak goes over the wall. Gakgos, though, sidestepping the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, staying alive for now. To the skies won't matter. To the ground with the Jayce. 50 seconds until the dragon spawns, but it's only 35 until Gakgos reappears on the rift, and he will have his teleport to join up in the fight if that's what they want to go for. But I love Sentinels always looking for these plays.
Yeah, Sentinels are doing a great job with this, looking for these plays. Massu getting his base canceled actually matters, because he wants to go back and spend here. And as Tempo will be hurt a bit, I also like the fact that Gakgos just accepts the death. Don't waste your flash. Yeah. This next fight is the one that matters. And I got a little bit of context on that play from Quad on the top side from the producers. Gryffinn did tell him, hey, if it gets crazy, I can ult you, right? So I think Quad maybe took that as, oh, make it crazy, right? And, and kind of went in.
So Massu did go back to base. He did manage to complete his full 3rd item with the Black Cleaver here on the Lucian. So now double cleavers for FlyQuest as Sentinels control the bottom side river first, but they must stop this stack. You do not want to give FlyQuest Ocean Soul. Huhi off to the side. Keep your eyes on the Seraphine. Where's the Encore going to be? Call of the Pack already used by HamBak. Big defensive tool no longer available. Here for this Assassin Jungler. Accelerated Shock Blast from Gakgos trying to find poke. Massu will always be the target for Sentinels. Huhi over the wall, tries to go for the flash. Encore with the Breath of Life is immediately ready to respond. FlyQuest sees what Sentinels have, and they turn it right back around. Impact over the front line. Petrifying Gaze to slow everybody on Sentinels down. The calling, finding maximum value. Quad gets the kill into Huhi as Impact has to run. Impact tries to charge back in now, but a massive heal coming in onto Massu here with the Stand United plus the barrier together. HamBak goes in. Gakgos goes down. Massu still firing. Finds yet another one onto Rahel. Impact and Darkwings scrambling to get away, but they're running back towards the FlyQuest side of the map. Quad continuing to keep them here. Decimating Smash will not find anything else. FlyQuest head back over to the Ocean Drake pit. They will get 3 kills in exchange for only the 1 death on Gakgos, and they will claim the Ocean Soul.
Love watching these kids team fight. What an intense one right there. Huhi did land the flash ult, but that's when you see the Milio counter right away, giving him the cleanse, and then also the patience to sidestep the shockwave, and once those 2 engaged tools were down, that's when they flew in.
They're waiting for their ults.
They're hitting now.
Help me.
Seraphine flash. Look Seraphine, Seraphine, look Seraphine.
They want to combo. No ult, Ori. No ult, Ori.
You can go.
No.
Hard.
Keep going. Can you blue it? Yeah. If you have?
I have ulti still. I'm hitting dragon. I have ulti.
We can play for fight. We can Drake after.
Guys, look, please. Yeah, I'm looking. I have W too. Look, no, Naafiri. I have W. Keep going.
Just an ulti. I just it. Maybe 7Q, yeah?
I'll see dragon. You guys chase.
7Q, 7 only Q, I think.
I think it's hard, Quad. I think it's hard to walk in.
Yeah, it's hard to check into Ori.
Yeah,
You just get free dragon, no?
Good.
Okay.
Nice, good job. What sums they use?
Really good comms there, but we are back to another fight.
Back to live immediately. HamBak trying to dive in after Massu, being protected by the cozy campfire. Flash over the wall from HamBak. He can't complete the mission. Now Impact the target for the rest of FlyQuest. They stay grouped up as 5. Yes, Massu took a chunk of damage, but Sentinels just cannot find the kills onto this critical Lucian.
And they have Ocean Soul, so they're saying, you want to reset? Guess what? We're going to do Baron. We're going to heal off this thing with the Ocean Soul, and they're going to try to force the issue.
All right, HamBak still with most of his HP, but no ulti on the Naafiri. Massu already regenerating back to about 75%. Impact and a face check the brush here. Cozy Campfire again back on Massu, making sure the Lucian stays healthy. Baron down to about half HP. Sentinels moving up. HamBak still over the wall, ready to try to steal if FlyQuest want to full commit to this. Massu here with the calling, putting a lot of damage into DARKWINGS, but the Orianna gets behind his Sion. Impact body blocking the rest of the ult damage there. Gryffinn looking, but still on top of the Baron for now. Impact in the middle of everybody, stuck on top of Miasma. He cannot get away, and that means FlyQuest now have the enemy tank down. Nice damage arrives from DARKWINGS there with a shockwave, but it is not enough, and Impact dead body is now out of the picture. HamBak still looking for maybe the miracle steal. Blastcone takes his teammates over the wall. HamBak petrified. HamBak died. FlyQuest, they're gonna find 2 more kills and take the Baron.
FlyQuest is just too fed and too clean in these team fights. With the amount of shielding, healing, and cleanse break they put on Massu, plus the Ocean Soul, it just seems insurmountable for Sentinels.
I mean, Massu got the lead, and he's been playing so well with it. Both games, this guy is just on fire in this series. They do not flip the Baron, they force their hand, they make them come over, even with a great shockwave from DARKWINGS. They go over the wall, they take out HamBak, they guarantee it.
DARKWINGS doing his best to try and push Quad back a bit, but Quad just, as Cassio, buying time.
Yeah, Quad's got friends, and that calling, man. Game number 2 is the Massu story. This Lucian absolutely out of control, 8-0-2. Total gold, he's 4,000 gold richer than the next guy in line, which is his own mid laner. The Infinity Edge now purchased.
That's crazy to see, as this fight was just once Quad kind of zoned all of Sentinels out from this river. There was nothing Sentinels could do.
I mean, it's really just all about ults for Sentinels comp. So, you know, once some of these tools are spent, it is very difficult for them to have any threat. And then, you know, once they are lacking on that threat, Massu walks up, Quad walks up, they just pummel down this front line, take out HamBak, guarantee the Baron, and that pretty much feels like it has sealed the deal on this game. Massu just feels untouchable, and now with that Infinity Edge, he went for the faster Black Cleaver for that soul fight. You know, it was the item that he could afford to finish. Stealing his top laner's only job this game, shredding armor.
Raz, man, you gotta shut up. He changed it back on waiting room.
When did he change it? FlyQuest hasn't lost a game.
Well, no, he changed it back at the start of waiting room when they were going through their conversation about the teams. He said, oh, I want to change my opinion to Sentinels now. You guys are convinced me. So he changed it over before the series even started, and now he wants to flip-flop back to his original, like, point of origin prediction.
You know what's really funny?
Yeah, we have an arrow there onto Gryffinn, who tries to get away, commits the flash 2, tagged by the very end of the encore. Gryffinn should be dead here, but the problem is, Sentinels is sending a lot for jungle Shen. They do end up getting him, but they're going to lose their inhibitor turret plus inhibitor up there in the top lane as the trade. So, okay, you got to kill.
I mean, you can't defend it anyway, so I think, you know, it's like, if you can't do anything about top lane, well, you can do something here. They got a kill, and they did get that tower, so they get some objective bounties, they get a little bit of gold. Yeah, is it a good trade? Probably not, but that's the only trade you can get.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, it's way better than nothing. It's way better than trying to defend top and losing the game. And it's kind of funny because I was just looking at Protoplasm. That's the first time it's actually procced this whole game. So he hadn't actually gotten low enough the entire game. It was his first item, by the way, for it to proc until that moment right there, 29 minutes in.
He pops his head out of the jungle, instantly punished. Back to the jungle, Shen. Stop putting yourself into harm's way. Man,
all right,
look at Massu, 5,000 gold up on Rahel. This is exactly what FlyQuest would want when they make this team composition, right?
Yeah.
The jungle Shen. We actually could see the Lucian delivery system, I think, with his current lead. We don't need to see it, but I feel like we could see it. We saw the point-blank culling onto Orianna earlier.
Here comes Impact, charging towards the bottom side river here with a Sion. They recognize that Gakgos was in the enemy jungle. They want to try to find some sort of an angle to punish, but Cryogen with a nice sidestep there. Sentinels still all grouped up. FlyQuest, they don't really care right now. Gryffinn separated from the rest of the team, but he's Shen. He's fine with that.
Look at bot lane. No one's going to answer Gakgos, so he's saying, you guys can start it. I'll
Take
just
your
go
time.
push.
Yeah, FlyQuest is actually trying to force Sentinels to start it. I really love this play now that Sion has already burned TP and all. So Sentinel's going to have to start it, then Gakgos will come down.
Massu getting whatever little chip damage that he
He's
can.
not coming down.
Chunking Impact away, the culling flying out. Impact losing most of his HP, but does get healed now by his support. FlyQuest still looking for the fight as Gakgos is ready to commit here with a TP over the wall.
Wow.
There's the pick. DARKWINGS dies first in the fight, and that means lights out for Sentinels. HamBak charges in onto Quad, gets met with a face full of poison. Rahel gunned down at the end of the game, gunned down at the start of the game. The bullets have found Rahel non-stop in game 2. It's an ace for FlyQuest. It's 5-0. Elder Dragon not required. They're gonna march it straight to the Nexus.
Yeah, they've got this one wrapped up, and on that, Quad went for a 1v4 flank on the Cassio. The team pulls the pincer, wins the game.
FlyQuest told the whole story through bottom lane. It was a 2v2 bot diff, and it's FlyQuest match point.
What a great game overall. I mean, Quad 2-0-10, Cryogen 0-0-15, and Gryffinn 3-1-10. What a game there from FlyQuest. Raz, is it going to be a sweep? Is it another change?
Yeah, I don't know. Raz?
I'm holding firm on my original prediction.
Oh,
no! Hell no! Hell no! That does not count! My SMG prediction. Raz has never held firm on anything in his life.
Wow. All right, moving away from that.
I tend to disagree on that one. Emily, please.
Wow.